Hello everyone, today I'm going to show you several tricks that might be handy while post-producing your animations in Adobe Premiere. So first of all, we're going to start with erasing the monochromatic backgrounds from your videos. For that, first of all, start a new project in Adobe Premiere. Just choose the location, the name for it, and the sequence presets. In this case, I'm just going to rename it and leave the rest as it is. Now, as you can see, the Adobe Premiere has already created a sequence with the name that we chose, and apart from that, a separate folder in the chosen location with our new project. To start off with our project, just import your files, and in this case I'm going to use a simple video with a green background and a video of a moving sky. For importing them, just drag and drop them to your library, and they're going to appear in your Project tab. Now we need to place imported videos on the timeline to start working with them, and for that, again, just drag and drop the videos on the timeline. And Adobe Premiere is going to ask whether you want to change the initial options or settings for your videos, and in this case I'm going to keep the existing settings. Now, one thing about different lines in your timeline, and they work pretty much as in Photoshop, meaning that whichever video is on the top, that video is going to be displayed first, and then it's going to affect all the other videos underneath in case you apply effects and try to play with it. So in this case I need my video with my green background to be on the top layer. So we're going to place it on this line, and then the video with the sky underneath. I'm going to need this space here for let's say a test background, which in my case is going to be red, to see the quality of my cut in the borders. For that, first we need to create a new item, so go to New Item and Color Matte. In this case I'm going to choose red because the red color is the most contrasting with my video. And you might as well name it. So we're going to drag this new item to the very bottom. And make sure that all your items now stand in a position where they all start simultaneously. Now, as you can see, all of them have different sizes. So first of all, before beginning, we need to resize them. And for that, just simply double click on the item you want to resize. And by holding Shift, just expand it as much as you want. And then enter. The same thing we're going to do with our robot here. By holding Shift, and then once you're happy with it, just press enter. Now our videos are resized and they match, and we're ready to delete the background. And for deleting the background, we're going to use one of the effects. For that, just go to the Effects tab, Video Effects, Keying, and all the way down to Ultra Key. You want to drag and drop this effect onto the layer which contains the video with the green background. In our case, that layer stays on the line number 1. So just drag and drop it on the video and you will see that a little plus sign will appear. Now as you can see, nothing happened, and for the effect to work we need to change some options. For that, just go to Effect Control, and by choosing the color sampler, just choose the background color. And you can see that the most of the work is basically done. Now, if you're satisfied with the result, you can just stop here, but every individual case requires several steps. And in case of this particular video, I'm just going to show you several more options that you can use. For instance, you can go to matte generation, and here you can see different options, something like transparency, which initially affects the transparency of the video, highlights, which will affect only the highlights, the same with shadows, tolerance, and one particular thing which is called the pedestal, and it affects the noise. And to see it more clear, let's just switch to 75% and turn off the layer of the sky so we can see it on the red background. Now if I play with the scroll, you can see that it clears a large amount of noise on the borders. Moving forward to the matte cleanup, and our goal is just to refine the edge of the image. So the idea is to play with the various options. In this particular tab, the spill suppression, one important thing is Luma, which basically brings back the brightness of our original video, in case you lost it during some modifications. And lastly, the color correction, which again pretty much works as in Photoshop. You can play with the saturation, with hue, which easily changes the color range of your video. And the luminance, which is responsible for the amount of light in your video. Now one thing is important, you maybe should not play as much with the following settings, because if for one part of the video they work perfectly, for the other part, for instance like here, they damage some parts of the video. So try not to distort it as much as possible. That is pretty much it. So now we can see the final result. Of course you can later on adjust the length of each video, and that's up to you. But for now, I think for deleting the background, this might be enough.